Okay, great. All right, so when you lie on your back, make sure your palms are up, and let's have our legs flat first. Feet a little extra wide, toes out, and deepen your breath. When you breathe in, try to breathe in your belly and your chest and maybe your collarbones a little bit. And when you exhale, drop your whole belly down towards your spine, imagining you are really just pressing every bit of air out of you. Oh, shoot. And just follow your breath. A few more times, let your body really relax. And then pin the back of the end of each finger and your thumbs to the ground. So you're kind of actively holding your palms to the ground. They're facing up. Palms are up. And now as you exhale, I want you to press the back of your hand and the back of your forearm actively into the ground, your forearms, both of them. Inhaling, relaxing fully, exhaling, pressing all the fingers, hands, forearms to the ground. And then relax. Bend your knees and keep your feet a little bit wider than normal. And then create gentle pressure through your hands, fingers, forearms. You don't have to press very actively, but just hold a little bit of tension there as you roll your knees real slowly over to one side, allowing them to settle, but keeping all your fingers on the ground. And then picking them back up and rolling them over the other way. And go at your own pace, allow your hips to settle. And if there's a spot where you're just like, wow, that feels great, feel free to pause there and take a couple deep breaths. And we'll spend the space of about 12 of our deepest breaths working on this movement. Try to keep your fingers and your hands engaged with the floor the whole time. And next time you come up to the top, pause and bring your feet and knees all the way together. And you can let your arms just totally relax. You're going to lift your heels up as high as you can, pointing your toes, both feet acting as one, and then drop your heels and lift and spread all your toes, but keep the insides of your feet together. And we're just going to do that a few more times. Good. And then heel your feet apart and then toe your feet apart. And they should be pretty straight. Put your hands on your hips. Find the bony point of the front of your hip, your ASIS. And then kind of wrap your thumb around the side. Feel yourself roll that bony point forward. You're going to feel your back lift up a little bit. You're going to kind of roll down your hip towards your tailbone. Take it as far as you can go comfortably, and then roll your hips back the other way until your back is flat on the ground, but your hips haven't really lifted up. Because you could keep squeezing your glutes and lift your hip up really high. You just want to flatten your back. And then inhale, roll your hips forward again, and we're going to go back and forth in a little pelvic roll. Exhale as you press down. If your back's flat, you can drop your belly in, do the full exhale. And then inhale back into it. And now that you have the hang of it, if you feel like you can take your hands off your hips and still do it just fine, that's fine. I want you to also think about pressing your big toe into the ground while you do it. Okay, and now keep your toes down and hold your knees out to the side a little bit and do it some more. And don't push into any discomfort or uncomfortable feelings, pain. Limit your range of motion to what is comfortable. Great. And then step your feet apart a tiny bit more and cross your left ankle onto your right thigh. Try to find your hips evenly on the ground because they're going to want to tilt when you put your foot up like that. So feel that it's even and then set it just a little bit by rolling your hips forward like we practiced. And then you should be nice and stuck in that position. And we're going to do some foot circles, foot winds. Curl your toes around the bottom and spread them around the top. That's the most important thing. If you need to look right at your toes, that's perfectly okay. Now that you got your toe curling and spreading down, really try and make your range bigger. So really fight around the whole edge. Look for every bit of movement you can get. And then switch directions. And then unbind your left ankle, put your foot back on the ground, and then pick up your right ankle, place it on your thigh. Set your hips, make sure they're even. Mine definitely rolled over a little bit. Set your back, roll your hips to the ground, create some tension, and then begin your foot winds, spreading around the top, curling around the bottom. And then switch directions. And then unbind your ankle. Put your feet on the ground together. And then heel toe them apart so they're just maybe 3 or 4 inches apart. Press your big toe to the ground and spread out and press your other toes. And keeping all that tension through your toes, roll your knees apart a little bit and then together. And try to keep that toe pressure the whole time. And if you're like me, you might get a little cramp in your foot. That's cool. It's fine. And just keep moving and it'll go away. Okay, and then let's grab our strap. We're going to use our strap for a minute right on our legs, where we usually put it with about 1 fist of space between your knees, maybe a little bit more. 1 fist. Give it an extra wrap for security if you want. And then we'll place our feet flat on the ground and our hands out. And let's touch all of our fingers and our thumbs again like we did earlier. Just hold them there. You don't have to press. Just hold. And then press your toes down. Press your knees out for your whole exhale. So 2, 3, 4 seconds. And then inhale and relax, but don't relax your fingers. I want to do this maybe 10 or 12 times. Keep your fingers on the floor, especially your thumbs. Make sure you're still touching your thumbs on the ground. Make sure you're still pressing your toes down. Okay, and then you can relax your hands. And then in our strap, we're going to do some of those same pelvic rolls we did before. So just rolling the hips forward, feeling an arch form in the back, taking it to a point of comfort, and then rolling your back flat to the ground. Okay. And then we're going to slip our strap off of our legs. And let's put it over our, see if you can get it on your arms and kind of around your elbows. Probably the same size is perfect. And then you can you can either let your hands rest above your head and just kind of hold your elbows pointing up. Or if you feel like that's going to make you tired, you can kind of put your fingertips on your head for support. But I want you to keep your shoulders on the ground. And as you exhale, you're just going to press your elbows out into the strap a little bit. And then inhale and relax. And you should feel your shoulder blades kind of come close together. It shouldn't be causing you any pain. Okay, and then see if you can reach past your head and put your fingertips on the ground with the strap on your elbows. And then any amount, slide your fingertips away from you, elbows still on the strap. Work on it maybe 5-10 times at your own pace. Inhale and reach. Exhale, bring your hands back. And then we're going to take our strap off and set it beside us. And then get adjacent to your favorite wall. And we're going to put our legs up. And now remember, this shouldn't be very intense. So if your hips are so tight that they're not touching the ground and your lower back is curving, then you need to scoot back until your hips are flat. If you feel like the front of your hips are feeling intense, you need to scoot back to make it less intense. Be comfortable. And put your feet maybe 6-7 inches apart. Put your hands above you anywhere that they're able to relax. For some people, if their hands are too far up, their elbows will come off the ground. I would like your elbows to be on the ground. And for this portion of class, we're just going to spend a couple minutes just totally, fully relaxing with our legs up the wall. Maybe just take a second to make sure you're lined up and your feet aren't over to one side or the other. And then begin to deepen your breath and focus on your full exhale. Okay, we're going to do a little active motion for our hamstring stretch. So we're going to let our heels slide down the wall, possibly till our feet are flat, maybe a little further, and then we're going to carefully push our heels up the wall. Depending on the type of wall, the type of feet you have, or the type of socks you have, you may or may not have to control the friction, but just do your best. Push up, inhale, exhale, drop your feet. Do it 2 or 3 more times at your own pace. And then let's stop with our legs all the way up. We'll pull our toes down towards our knees. Pull our hips close to the ground. And then we're going to keep our legs tight, turn our knees out to the sides. Pay very close attention to your knees. Don't let them bend at all. Do one or two more. Make sure your toes are down. And then we're gonna make our feet maybe twice as wide. Same leg position, toes are down, knees are tight, and we're gonna rotate. Okay, now we're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna bring our feet a little bit wider than normal, but flat to the wall. If you need to move back a little bit so it's less intense, that's perfectly okay. But see if you can get somewhere where your back is comfortable, your knees are very bent, and your feet are flat. And then we're just gonna hang out here and take some deep breaths. And then wiggle yourself back from the wall until you can just barely touch your fingertips to it. And that should be a good spot for you to bring your feet and your knees all the way together and hold them there. Hold them together a little bit longer. Take some deep breaths. And then we're going to put our strap carefully over our legs and tighten them together snugly in the same position. And that should be a lot more relaxing. So now we can focus on some other stuff like bringing our hands together, interlacing our fingers, tightening our elbows, and inhaling as we draw our arms back behind our head. Keeping your elbows perfectly straight. If they have to bend, you have to bring your arms back above your body. And then separate your arms, put them in like a Y shape, kind of above you. And now as you exhale, I want you to try and press with the back of your entire arms firmly and comfortably as you exhale. Okay. And now we're going to loosen our strap a little bit and we're going to scoot back so our hips are right under our knees, right angle at our knees. Keeping our toes on the wall, we're going to press out on our strap with our legs as we exhale and then relax. And you can put your arms and hands anywhere you want as long as your palms are up. And then keep some gentle pressure on your strap and lift your heels from the wall. Drop your heels to the wall and lift your toes and spread your toes. Back and forth, gentle pressure on the strap the whole time. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to do something a little more challenging, but I know that we can all do it. We're going to bring our knees towards our chest a little bit, any amount, and then push our heels up without touching the wall. Knees back in, feet to the wall. And do that between 2 to 5 more times at your own pace. Knees to chest, heels up, knees to chest, feet to the wall. And then when we're all done, we're going to take our strap off and we're going to lie on our bellies. And let's put our hands underneath our forehead on top of one another. And we're just going to let our body relax nice and flat, taking some deep breaths and exhaling 100% each time. Okay, now press your hips down to the ground and very slowly start to bend your right leg. And you're looking for a point when you're bending your right leg where your hip starts to come up and your back starts to tighten. Whenever you find that point, slowly relax your leg and rinse repeat. Every time you bend it, look for that threshold. And go the other leg. And we're going to do 5 on each side, a few times back and forth, giving it our best concentration. And just keep doing 5 and switching back and forth. It shouldn't get much faster though. It should always be very slow and intentional with the hips pressing down to the ground. Mm. Okay, that's probably good wherever you're at. Now we're gonna do a long restorative type of pose to kind of reset our back, and then we'll do some twists. We're gonna make our hands so that our fingertips are touching above our head, making the shape of a diamond. And then we're gonna look into our left elbow. We're gonna bring our right leg up and out to the side, bending the knee. And we're gonna take our right hand, flip it around, and insert it palm up under our inner thigh. And we're just gonna rest just there, taking some deep breaths. And then we're going to pick up our right hand and take it out from underneath our right thigh. Bring our fingertips to meet back above our head. And look into our right elbow. And then bring our legs out straight, touch our toes together. And turn the right leg, the left leg down. Excuse me, left leg out. Flip the hand around. Insert the palm up under your thigh. And then take your left hand out from underneath your thigh and bring your fingertips kind of together. Straighten out your legs, bring your big toes together, and then prop yourself up on your elbows. And then you can use your elbows on the ground to kind of create some little shoulder circles. Don't really push into anything that's uncomfortable, but by lifting and lowering your chest, using your elbows and shoulders, you can get some pretty good little shoulder circles in there. Okay, now I'm going to have everyone lie on your right side. Bring your knees up. Knees are at a right angle, matched up very closely. Hands are out in front. Whenever you're ready, we're going to twist the top arm open, look at it, and keep our other arm on the ground. And then bring that arm back over your body to meet your first arm. And then we're going to roll onto our opposite side. Knees are up at a right angle, matched up. Take the top arm and open it. And then stay for one more breath. And then bring your arm back over your body. Match them up. And we're going to do one more thing. We're going to lay flat on the ground with our toes rolled to the outside. Hands wherever they're comfortable, as long as they're palm up. And we're going to squeeze our glutes. Squeeze your butt cheeks. And then relax. Try not to squeeze anything else. We only want to squeeze our glutes. Okay. And then I want to have reverse shavasana today. So instead of relaxing, because we relaxed so hard, we're going to stand against the wall for the last few moments. So do anything you need to do before you get up, make any little adjustments, twists, stretches, and then come to your feet. And we're just going to stick ourselves right to our closest wall with our heels touching, both of our hips touching, and the backs of all of our fingers and our shoulders touching. And just take some deep breaths. You do not have to force your head on the wall if your head's not touching it. Don't worry about it. You can definitely press your big toes down and take some extremely deep breaths. Let's take at least 5 more of our deepest breaths here on the wall. Even if it feels kind of hard, unless you're getting some sharp, stinging, or shooting, burning pain, then definitely relax a little bit. Okay, and then you can relax. And now we should be extremely aligned. And I'm so happy that all of you could come and spend this hour with me practicing for our posture. Thank you for being here.